Everybody said this was a deal that could not be done.
Carlos Correa got the bag from the Giants, signing a 13-year, $350 million.
Big news from the middle of the night in the baseball world. The Mets stepped in and agreed to a $315 million 12-year deal with superstar Carlos Correa.
What the is happening?
Holy shit.
I woke up in the middle of the night and I did what you're not supposed to do, which is I looked at my phone and I started scrolling and immediately saw the news that Correa is now going to be on the Mets for 12 years. Like, what? What is going on?
Absolute chaos. Apparently, maybe Steve Cohen wasn't up in the middle of the night like you when he made this contract signing, because he was on vacation in Hawaii, I just read. So
I saw that.
The time change there is a little different. So I'm guessing the Twins ownership was asleep. Who even knows if the San Francisco Giants were up? I think the whole entire world was asleep when this happened, except for Scott Boras, Correa, and Steve Cohen.
Yeah, I had to like look at multiple sources before, because at first I was like, no, this is a joke, and then because I just can't believe that. So the Giants backed out. What's going on?
Yeah, so yesterday they were supposed to hold their initial press conference. It was supposed to be yesterday afternoon. We were planning to talk about it in the podcast after it happened, but that did not happen. They postponed it. Everyone's like, it's probably just technicality. It's something with the physical. It's probably not going to turn out to be anything, because you don't expect a contract that is 300 and, was it 360, 350, and 350.
Oh, the Giants contract?
Yeah, the Aaron Judge was 360, and they gave Correa 350, 13 years. You're not like thinking that what in the physical could really cause something that you were already promising this guy 13 years. Like, it must be something big, because if it's just like, oh, he's got like a torn hamstring, it's like, so what? You got 13 years.
Yeah. I mean, like, so he still, and he still has to go through a physical with the Mets. So,
right.
I mean, they obviously know something if they're offering him that contract, or they just know that they can also back out if there's something seriously wrong with him.
That's my guess, is that they know that they're just, let's get ahead of it. Let's get him. We'll deal with whatever it is later and figure it out.
Speaking of, okay. Yeah,
I'm speechless. I don't even know what to say. And so, you know what else is crazy?
Okay, let's say that he is fine though. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, I was just saying, let's say he is fine, right? Where are the Mets? Like, where is all this money coming from? How do they have so much money?
What's more of the question is, like, all these owners are like billionaires. They all have tons of money. All of them have all kinds of money. And if they don't, they're like combined ownerships. They all have the money to spend. The real question is, like, why are the Mets willing to spend and no one else really is, besides maybe the Padres, the Yankees? Twins are clearly not willing to spend. And it's not like our owners aren't as rich, or even like Cohen's obviously very rich, but so are the other owners. So good for him, I guess, spending money. I don't know. There's no other way to say it, really. And they are high in spending money. Their luxury tax is absolutely absurd. Their projected tax payroll, like after the luxury tax, is at $356 million just next year alone. The Yankees are at number 2 at $248 million. That's over $100 million more than the next most that the team is spending. So if you combine the Yankees with the Twins payroll, it is still $24 million less than what the Mets are spending in payroll projected next year. Less. And we were offering Correa $28.5 million a year. And they got him for $26.5, I think it was.
Yeah. Do you think this is kind of like a miss by the Twins, like not keeping up on this, and not like what? Obviously, they were sleeping when this happened. Like right. It was in the middle of the night. But should someone have not been sleeping, like monitoring this situation? Or once they found out about the physical,
Falvey should have been on the phone right away. They should have been. You missed him the first time. You saw a lot of disappointment in the fans. You got to go out and get them, and they didn't do it. Before it was like, okay, well, now they can go get Dansby Swanson. They can't do that now. Now there's nobody left. You had a second opportunity at an amazing player at a very high talent, but we'll see where he ends up turning out. Now we get to watch him. We get to watch him on the Mets either be amazing and complain about it every year or absolutely decline in his career because of whatever it is in his physical. I mean, we know that he has injury problems. I think he's been on the IL 7 or 8 times in his career already. That's quite a few, but I don't know. I just can't get over the spending. They're on a spending spree. They're spending so much money.
Yeah, and this is obviously happened before where players, have had issues with their physicals and stuff. But I just think with the player and how much money they were spending, it's just a huge deal. I mean, this is
massive. The
big.
Twins.
I can't believe what
the Twins' payroll next year, as of right now, is $60 million. And the Mets' payroll going into next year was already higher than that. And so far this year alone, just in free agents, they've spent, in the average salary, $140 million a year. They've spent. Our full payroll is 60. We're not even asking the Twins to go out and spend $140 million. We're just saying, just get to $100 million in payroll at least for next year. Don't be sitting at 60. They're not spending anything. You could spend that much now and you could buy every player that's left. That's how, there's just no one that big left. So, they have signed some massive, I don't know. Let me pull up the list here. The Mets have signed Correa, giving him an average salary 26.25. Brandon Nimmo, $20 million. Edwin Diaz, $20 million. Justin Verlander, $43 million. Jose Quintana, $13 million. Adam Ottavino, $7 million. David Robertson, $10 million. The Twins, Gallo, and Christian Vasquez. 10 and 11 million. Yeah. That's it.
I really hope the Mets are good this year with all that money.
If they're not, I think Steve Cohen's going to pull the plug and be like, we're never spending again. But I don't know. If you combine, it seems like the Dodgers have a big payroll, right? And the Padres, combine them, it's still less than the projected payroll of the Mets after the luxury tax. The Dodgers and the Padres combined. You can also combine the Brewers, the Royals, the Reds, the Pirates, the Orioles, and the A's. Payrolls all together is still less than one team.
That's great. Well, the A's payroll is probably close to what our payroll
40.
is. It's
right. That's sad.
I'm kidding.
Our payroll should be a lot higher than the A's.
Oh, I meant craziness. It was a joke. Never mind.
Oh, you're saying you and me? Oh my God. Yeah, it's closer to that. But surprisingly, it's not that far below where the Twins are at right now, which is sad.
Well, this is just insane news. So, well, I guess, I don't know. I don't really have any. We can just jump into Twin stuff now.
Let's jump into Twin stuff. Let's regroup. Let's catch our breath and let's talk some Joey Gallo.
Basically, all of the top 25 ranked free agents have already landed on teams. The Twins didn't sign any of them. So what are we doing? Who did we lose from our roster? And so far, who have we gained outside of that top 25?
Well, obviously, we haven't added Correa, and I think a lot of people had a lot of high hopes for that, or any of the top 4 shortstops that were out there. Dansby Swanson, Trey Turner, Xander Bogaerts, they all are gone. No, we're not getting a single one. It was a lot of the talk we've talked about on the podcast is which one are we going to get? The answer is 0. From the offseason, we lost Miguel Sano. Who cares? We lost Gary Sanchez. We replaced him with Christian Vasquez. Dylan Bundy we lost. Again, who cares? Michael Fulmer, I would love to see him come back, to be honest. It'd be nice to put him in the bullpen. Chris Archer's gone for good. Cody Stashak's gone. And Correa. We also traded away Gio Urshela, so that was a big loss. But it takes some money off the books that we were like, hey, that's money off the books we can put towards Carlos Correa. Perfect. Now it's just money off the books. And we've added, like I mentioned, Christian Vasquez, so Gary Sanchez is gone. Kyle Farmer we got via trade. And then now we just got Mr. Joey Gallo hitting some bombas. Our new Miguel Sano, as some would say.
Yeah. So I guess we'll dive into whether or not we had a successful offseason thus far in a little bit. But yeah, so the Twins signed Joey Gallo, 1 year, $11 million. Were you surprised by that signing?
I was. I thought I wouldn't have been surprised if they traded for Gallo at the deadline last year when he was just absolutely horrific with the Yankees at the time. But signing him right now just didn't make a lot of sense to me because we have so many lefty bats in the outfield, lefty bats already in the outfield, and we have traffic jam in the outfield, and so it just didn't make that much sense for us to go and get him. We got Kepler, Larnach, Keeleroff, D. Gordon even as a lefty, I believe, and there's a lot. So we're probably going to have to trade Kepler. I would assume we've talked about that before, but now it really puts the cart in front of the horse by signing Joey Gallo. I don't know. I mean, they're taking a shot. I like the idea. I see what they're going for. There's a lot of opportunity. He's a great athlete, great fielder. He's not going to just be a DH, and if he was, a guy who hit he hit 160. He has a 199 average in his career. That's not the guy you want being your main DH, your mainstay, but hey, I think that's going to turn around, and we all know the shift is banned. There's not a lot of talk about that with Joey Gallo, and I think that 199 average is only going up from here, and we all know he can hit bombas. So we'll see.
So, okay, so yeah, you said, Joey Gallo's stock might go up because the shift is banned, right?
Yep.
They do play the shift against him, or did.
Hard.
What are your What are your thoughts on that? Forget about Joey Gallo. What are your thoughts on just the MLB banning the shift in general? Do you think it's good for the game or no? I personally think that you should be able to play wherever you want, but that's me. What do you think?
I guess I'll start with saying I kind of understand what they're going for and what they're trying to do is they're trying to bring the game back to what it used to be. Everybody plays in their spots. This is where a second baseman plays. This is where a shortstop plays. Make it less confusing to younger fans and also get more offense going. But I agree with you 100%. Play where you want to play. This is professional baseball. If you want to ban the shift in lower levels and things like that, fine. But even in lower levels, like high school sports, college sports, you got to learn to beat the shift. These pro athletes should be coming up knowing how to beat the shift, knowing how to hit to both sides of the field, not just relying on being a pull hitter. And I think, if anything, they think they're opening up more hitting, but I think it might possibly do the opposite because now guys are just going to be cranking for home runs and the fly ball era is going to just continue to go up because why would you hit the ball on the ground, I don't know. It's interesting. And with Joey Gallo, we've seen him in the past. I remember even last year, maybe it was the year before, I've seen him against the Twins in person, and I watched him bunt down the third base side. And he's got some speed. He can steal some bases. So it wouldn't surprise me now that the shift is banned that he hits some extra holes and turns some singles into doubles and surprises some people. Because, man, before they were shifting on him like David Ortiz. They were putting a guy, second baseman was playing out in right field with the right fielder. Shortstop was playing a deep second base, and the third baseman was playing also deep second base. There was no one on the left side of the field. Even the left fielder was shifting over. Absolutely an insane shift. But why wouldn't you? I think that decreases the value of Joey Gallo to me, and I think all teams should be able to shift. I agree. Long story short.
I was just like, people should be able to stand wherever they want. You actually went into a great explanation. All right, so Gallo.
I've had this argument before.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems weird, but yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, maybe there's other.
That would be like,
change,
what if they were saying? Right. What if they came out and were like, oh no, your second baseman has to bat second in the order, third baseman third in the order. Your shortstop can only bat fourth in the order. Like, you get to set your batting lineup wherever you want. What's the difference about defensively putting your players however you want in order? Like, what? I don't see what the difference is, to be honest. You should be able to play anywhere you want, put anybody where you want. You already get to choose that, so why limit people? I think it's dumb.
Like you said, the whole left side of the field was open. He had plenty of space to hit the ball if he just,
Yep. Size of the field does not change.
Yeah.
But
it's weird, man. I don't know. I don't like it. But anyway, moving on. So Joey Gallo, $11 million. That means the Twins still have a lot of money to spend to even match their payroll last year. Who do you want to see signed? Who's out? Who's left? Who do we want to see signed?
The list is really dwindling. As we know, there's still several pretty decent not closers, but just relievers, middle relief guys. We mentioned Michael Fulmer earlier in the podcast. There's guys like Corey Knebel. There's who else is out there? Kluber's out there. Some of these guys, Taylor
Kluber's
Rogers
like
too, maybe bring
old,
him
man.
back. Right, but I don't think we take Kluber and put him in a starting role. I think we play him in the way Tampa Bay did the last couple of years. You'd put him in those, a couple innings, maybe start the first 2 innings and then pull him out of the game, maybe bring him in the middle of the game for a couple innings. Like, we need some of those long relief guys, and we know the Twins do not let their starters go deep into games, so some of the relief pitching and the starting pitching we lost last year, I can't imagine that we just rely on what we already have and only rely on prospects. So I'd really like to see them go and spend the money on, Will Smith or Zach Britton, even maybe if Zach Greinke wants to do some middle relief instead of being a starter or shorter starts. I don't know, but not a huge Zach Greinke fan, but I don't care. We got to get some veteran starting pitching or middle relief pitching. That's what we need. And Michael Fulmer, I think, is the one that they should go after next. And we all know he fits in with this organization. They traded for him last year. I would like to see that happen, but it's very likely it comes down to trades with what's left. The only offensive guys that are really left are Jerks and Profar and maybe a Brandon Drury. Other than that, it's pretty slim pickings at this point. A lot of old guys, as they would say.
Yeah, like you said before too, so Kepler is possible, somebody we would trade. What kind of big names do you think we could trade for at this point?
Man, yeah, if only I knew the answer.
We didn't. I know, right? Well, I'm just saying, we didn't get any big names off free agency, so I don't know if behind the scenes they're looking to trade. Like you said, Kepler is possible. I'm going to
throw you 2 very wild speculation ideas out there on 2 very big names. One from the Red Sox. 2 theories that
these are Cole conspiracy theories.
Yes, let me give you a Cole conspiracy theory. The first one being Mr. Rafael Devers. All right, I know we have Jose Miranda playing third base, but he can play other spots. And hey, there's never a problem having a traffic jam at a position if we have 2 guys that are amazing. It is looking like the Red Sox GM doesn't know what he's doing. He's causing a bunch of mayhem.
I was going to say, there's going to be riots in the street
JD.
if they get rid of Devers too.
Yes, and it's sounding. The last report I saw, I forget who posted it, but somebody wrote a report that said that they're, in their words, galaxies apart right now in their discussions, and he's a free agent next year. So it wouldn't be smart of them to hold him this year and just let him go to free agency and deal with it later. I think they either have to lock him down now or you trade him now. And knowing that you lost Bogarts and JD and your team, you haven't really added much besides who did they? I don't even know who they actually added right now. I have to remember, but they added Trevor Story a couple years ago. You just don't have the team that you want around Devers. I think the Twins are maybe getting ready to make a big offer. There's a lot of holes that the Red Sox have right now.
An offer to Devers or an offer to
for Devers? No, because Red Sox own him for another year. So the only way we can get him is via trade right now. He's a free agent next season, but there's just no way. They're either going to lock him down now or they're not going to, is my projection. I can't imagine they do what the Yankees did with Aaron Judge and just say, well, we'll see what happens. I think they're gonna try to get their money's worth. Otherwise, here's my other crazy Cole conspiracy theory, and I know this guy has a no trade clause, but Fernando Tatis Jr. Oh my goodness. I would be so excited if we found a way to get him, lock him down.
I started choking when you said that. I was like,
he's got a no trade clause, so it's highly unlikely he has to approve it. But we all know they brought in Xander Bogaerts. They have what's his name, who was playing shortstop last year. Hyung Sung Kim, he's amazing. They have Manny Machado, who can play short and third. Like, you've got a pretty solid outfield. They just signed somebody today, too. They just signed Matt Carpenter. You can put Matt Carpenter in the outfield. I saw he's going to Stash Diego. That's a good one. But you got a lot of talent out there, and they're paying a lot of money for Tatis. And if you're not going to have him out there every day, and he's not going to be that mainstay in your clubhouse, I've heard he can be kind of tough to deal with, so when he's got all these other guys around him. So we'll see. I don't know. I think coming to a place where he's the number one guy, he's the leader, he's the man, could be what he needs. And hopefully we see him come to Minnesota. We would obviously have to give up either Brooks Lee or Royce Lewis in the trade, as well as probably like Kepler and Sonny Gray. Like, you're going to have to give up a lot to get Tatis and that contract that he's got. But hey, if you can get somebody that you can put butts in seats and sell jerseys, how could you not? And nobody's going to do that better than Fernando Tatis Jr. They're trying to make him the face of the MLB before he cheated.
Yeah.
But
That's
hey, we've signed
unfortunate,
cheaters before. We had Correa. Why not keep it going?
Wait, actually, so a couple things. One, I was just seeing who the Red Sox have. They haven't really signed. They've been signing a lot of pitching, like right-handed pitchers.
They
Everyone,
signed. Who did they sign? Which pitcher?
Kenley Jansen.
Jansen, that's who I was saying. That was basically the biggest signing. Clevenger went to the White Sox. That's who it was.
Everybody else, it's nobody. Yeah, they're not. Anyway, but they haven't. I'm looking. I don't see anyone that would like take Devers' place. Going back to Devers, who would you like to see? Like if either one of those situations was actually possible, which would you prefer?
Man, I think I would prefer the Fernando Tatis trade if I got to pick between the two, because he's already locked down. If you go get Devers, you're going to have to discuss a negotiation with him to try to pay him $300 million, where Tatis' contract's already locked in. I don't know exactly what it is, but I think it's close to $300 million for the next several years. So it'd be easier to get someone you don't have to renegotiate with. And he's amazing. I mean, they're both amazing. Don't get me wrong. But I also think we have.
But he was
hole
also
at shortstop
amazing while he was cheating. But
well, yeah. Who knows?
Devers is clean.
It's hard to
say.
Devers is clean, and I think they're like the same age. I think Fernando Tatis may be 1 or 2 years younger than him, but they're both so young. Like Correa's 28, Devers is only 25, and I think Tatis is maybe 23. So that's a huge difference, and obviously young talent is highly valued, and you can't even sign that young of talent on free agency. It's just doesn't happen very often. And we know San Diego is going to have to try to sign Juan Soto, right? And I'm sure they're going to make a pitch towards Shohei Ohtani next year. So really, how high are they willing to go in that luxury tax? And I just think that if they could get a guy like Fernando Tatis off their books.
To be honest, it seems like teams don't really care about that luxury tax anymore.
Right. Except for the Twins, apparently.
Yeah. Well, yeah, except for the Twins. They just want to stay like as far below, their operating budget as possible. But everyone else is like, who cares?
It's crazy.
We'll just spend money.
Can you imagine? Yeah. Like, what if I told you, hey, you can anything you spend now, you have to spend an extra 90 cents on the dollar? Would you be like, oh, cool, I'll spend more? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. To kind of wrap it up, last season we ended up, after collapsing at the end of the year.
Absolute collapse. Yeah, my God.
We came in third behind the Guardians and the White Sox. So, what moves have they made?
This offseason, well, we know the White Sox, first of all, lost Jose Abreu, which I was really hoping the Twins would go out and swipe him from them. Didn't happen. So that was a big loss to them, but they went out and got Tendy for, 5 years, $75 million, and they got Clevenger for 1 year, $12 million. Yeah. So, I don't know. That seems like a lot of money for Andrew Benintendi, would you think?
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of like a forgettable outfielder. I don't. Yeah. Like, I mean, he was a big prospect when he was with the Red Sox, and then he did okay with them. I don't know. He never had like this crazy seasons. It does seem like a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing with Eloy Jimenez getting hurt all the time, and the other players on their team having a lot of injuries, that they're just trying to bring in extra players so that they're not out there every day. If anything, I bet we don't really see Jimenez out there hardly at all. He probably shouldn't. He keeps getting hurt. So yeah, I'm surprised that the Twins haven't done that with Buxton, and the only reason is because Buxton is just so good in the outfield. Like, he is the best center fielder, the best outfielder in baseball when he's on the field, not even just defensively. So it's, how can you sit him? That's what his value is. But the White Sox, I don't think they've gotten better by adding Benintendi and Clevenger with the loss of Jose Abreu. But Tendy's 28, Jose Abreu's 36, so long term, maybe it's what they needed to do. Cleveland added a first baseman, though. They added Josh Bell, so they added some power into the lineup, and I think that was something they needed, a veteran presence. We all knew in playoffs they were the youngest team ever, I think, in playoffs. Average age was like 26 or something like that, so they needed to add some veterans to the team, and they did that with Josh Bell and Mike Zunino behind the plate, too. So Zunino will replace Austin Hedges, and he's good. He's got some pop. He's kind of a Joey Gallo type. He hits a lot of home runs and strikes out a lot. And he'll just be platooning with their other catchers. And I know they've got, what's Josh Naylor? Josh Naylor's brother is coming up their system. I think it's Bo Naylor, and he is going to be their catcher long term. He's kind of their Adley Rutschman type prospect in their minds. So Zunino is just a 1 year, $6 million temporary thing. And then it'll be Bo Naylor after that. So they're looking good, unfortunately, for the Guardians, because they were great in playoffs. It's going to be tough. We got to add something, whether it's trade or free agency, because obviously what we had last year just didn't do it, and we lost Correa. So, got to improve.
Well, yeah, we'll I guess we'll keep everyone updated when we hear something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm interested to see what's going to happen, man, before the season starts. See who we get, what our lineup's going to look like. We have Joey Gallo, so hopefully, like your shirt says, he hits some bombas this year for us.
Maybe we get back to the Bombas squad. Maybe they go get Nelson Cruz. He's out there still. He could still play. I'm not opposed.
What, just like DH? Like, all right.
Yeah, DH and coach the players at the same time. I mean, he's such a... And then just get him in the front office for the rest of his life.
Yeah. All right. Joey Gallo, that's what we got for you so far. Go Twins. All right. Is there anything else you want to talk about? I'm trying to think. I can't really...
No.
All right, guys.
You hit pretty much
everyone.
everything.
Yeah. Like, subscribe, comment, follow us, Hot Dish Sports, at Hot Dish Sports on everything. And go Twins.